Welcome back to ARC Tutorials. This is CSS full tutorial series for absolute beginners. In the last episode, I introduced you to CSS syntax and how to understand what is the syntax stands for, what is a selector, what is a declaration block, etc. Today we are going to learn how to insert CSS into an HTML page. What are the different ways how we can add CSS to the HTML pages, because chances are when you work on a real project you will be able to understand what that code is doing. This is part 3 of the series. If you have missed out on the first two parts, kindly go through them so that you have continuity and you can learn and become pro in CSS with me. Today we are learning about how to insert CSS into an HTML page. There are three ways of inserting a style sheet. The first is external CSS, the second is internal CSS, and the third is inline styling or inline CSS. I'm going to show you practically how to each one of that works. Let's get started with our code. Before we get started, this is the code we had written in the last episode, just the basic skeleton, nothing complex, nothing complicated to confuse you, but simple enough for you to understand. So let's go ahead to that page, and if I reload, this is how it looks. We applied some basic styling of color and background. So I'm going to remove it for now so that it's more simple, because today's focus is to learn how to insert CSS in three different ways. First is an external style sheet. That means you write the style sheet outside of HTML. So I'm going to create a file by the name styles.css. Now remember, the extension has to be .css because that's how the browser will know that this file is about style sheet. In this particular style sheet, no HTML, no JavaScript, only CSS. So I'm going to start writing my CSS. If you remember from last episode, this is a selector, this is a declaration block. I'm going to add background color and I'm putting gray color. DDD is a hex code for gray color. Alternatively, if you are new here, if you are just getting started with learning, you can use named colors also, and you can write any name that you want, like this, like not with hash. You can say black, blue, whatever color for now. Okay, I am using hex because I'm a pro. I'm your lead, right? So all right, so I'm going to use that, and this is a simple CSS. What it does is that it will apply background color to the body, and it will apply the color to the entire page because that's what we have said. Coming back to HTML, if you see there is a body tag, that means it will apply to all the things that are inside the body. Now, how do you link this external CSS into an HTML? You use the link tag and you write relevance equal to style sheet. Okay, and then you use the href. Href is used to connect to the file, to the resource that you want to link. Now in this case we want to link our style.css, styles.css, so I've added that link. Now the tag is link, relevance equal to style sheet, href styles.css. Here I have my CSS, here I have my HTML. They both are separate, easy to write code, easy to maintain the code. Let's go to browser and refresh this page. So now you see it applied the gray color in the background, and all the things it has applied black color. Okay, so that means our CSS is working. Let's go ahead and modify some more. In this I'm writing h1 tags should be of color, say for simple aquamarine. Do you like aqua color? Do let me know in the comment section. Oh, it's not readable at all, so let's change it to something which we can read. Okay, much better, looks much better. And I also want to have a border. This is to just to show you that and recap of what we did last time, which is a declaration block can have multiple CSS statements. This is a property name followed by value, right? And I'm also going to add one more to show you that you can add any number of CSS statements. Alright, so this is how it looks. So for now, the point is to learn how to link external CSS into an HTML. Okay, which is what we have just done. I have created a new styles.css file, external file. It has all the CSS. I'm linking it into HTML. So that's how you link a external CSS. This is way number one. The second method is to have internal styling, which means you will write style tag type equal to text/css, and you write all the CSS inside this particular tag, opening and closing style tag. Now here I'm going to write subheading should be color brown and background color should be, say, light green or light blue. Okay, so now I'm saying first apply the external CSS. It will apply sequentially. First it will apply all the CSS that is there in this file, then it will apply the internal styling. Okay, because it is in that sequence. So this is how you write internal styling. That means inside this particular HTML page you will write all the styling. So now I have two elements which have subheading, so that should be applied to both of them. So you see here light blue color is applied and brown color is applied to these because there is a subheading. You can write any number of styling and CSS everything here. Say for the lovely audience that we have in girls also, but not being general, um, don't want to be gender biased, but yeah. All right, so here is the thing. So you can add any number of CSS and declarations for inside internal CSS. Let me quickly show you how to write inline styling. Now let's say I have a paragraph. I will write style attribute, and I can write the style right here. I'm going to say color is, say, blue violet, and I'll close it, and I will say this is new is inline styling. So you see here now this is blue violet color because this is inline styling. Again, I can write, say, font size should be 24 pixel, so it's big now because, and I want to say border pixel solid yellow color border. So see, there is a yellow color border. The idea is you write the CSS properties along with the HTML and using the style attribute, and that is what is called as inline styling. So to recap, we have seen external styling. External CSS is preferred, right? And why? Because it can be applied to multiple HTML pages. Okay, like you write the CSS only once and can be applied to any number of HTML pages, it will look the same. So when you work in real-time projects, you would see an external file which will have all the styles. There will be some cases where you have internal CSS. That means it's written between the style tags. Written between the style tags. Okay, applies only to that HTML page. Okay, it will be applied only to this file because you have written it inside the head section of this page. Last is the inline styling. Now this is done for specific element in page like this. This style will be applied only to this paragraph and nothing else, right? So these are the three ways that you can include CSS, and I hope now after this episode you will be able to understand when you see a link with, say, style.css, what does it mean? It means there is a external CSS code written and you're referring it here. When you see style tag inside, that means it applies only to this page. When you see a inline styling, that means it applies only to this element. One question I get often asked is which is better, which is preferred. There is no standard answer to it, but if you're building a large application, you should have external CSS so that you can link to multiple pages. However, there would be cases where you want to style a specific element in a page separately. You can have internal styling. If you have a use case where you want to style a particular element in certain way, you can style it inline. There is no wrong, there is no right. It's about best practices. So that is one of the best practice. Put the common code in external CSS, page specific code into internal CSS, element specific inline. Avoid inline as much as possible so that HTML is separate and CSS is separate. That's all I would tell you. That's all for today. In the next episode, I'll show you how to write comments in CSS. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're learning. I hope you're enjoying this series. If yes, please do let me know in the comment section. I'll be very, very happy to read your comments. Thank you so much for supporting me and this channel. I'll see you in the next episode. We will continue our learning CSS. Thank you.